Your boy making cold cuts, and I ain't talking about the sandwich.
A partnership of unwavering support that you are always having in any endeavor that you're going through, that this is a person that you are choosing to rely on, to support, to love through every up and down. It's basically your built-in family, but a person that you want to be connected to on every possible level.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's how I see it. That's how I'm going into it. That's how me and Terrence are going into it. What we've talked about and how I plan to live.
Because to me, any couple that don't get in a fight, don't trust it. Don't trust it.
Back.
Because you got to get in fights to see like how would you respond. Like I'm not saying purposely.
This is who I am. Like, this is how I am 24/7. And he just took it in stride. Not only did he take it in stride, he loved it.
Yeah, it's simple. It's not easy though. Cause boy, I'll tell y'all some of the argument, but it's
When like disagreements come up, we've gotten to a point where we both kind of like know how each other reacts and stuff, and like in a way to communicate that.
because don't get me wrong, me, I I shut down.
This is where I was coming from. This is where you're coming from. Like, if that's what we need to do, that's what we do.
This is not a movie, big dog. This, you can't.
Man, back at it again. What's good? Cousin-in-law, soon to be. Introduce yourself to the internet, man.
Hello, parents. Mother be there, cousin-in-law. What 7 days? About 7 days. Yeah, 7 days. Yep. Next Saturday.
7 days.
Mm-hmm.
The man trying to not.
About to have a good time.
And as the what viewership we had today knows, we finna get deep. But what they don't know is you're finna marry my cousin, as they can see in the top left. If this makes the edit, that's who
Yeah.
Zoom you're on now.
Oh yeah. He only have a Zoom, so I had to get on first.
And so I felt like it only made sense for when we hop on the podcast to talk about marriage as an ideal. Who better than you, who is about to get married in
Oh
less
yeah.
than a week, to get their 2 cents?
Mm, yeah. Oh, phew. Funny part is I'm new, still new.
Best time.
But,
I just want to press.
yeah. Mm,
I could always circle back and ask somebody who ain't new to this, but it's no what. Oh, let me not quote. Let me not quote that quote.
mm,
Crazy, bro. But
you don't do
first
that. No.
time, hopefully last time. Let's start with the easy stuff. Talk to me about what spurred the decision to get married.
Mm,
What's your
well,
thought
we
process?
I actually knew within a year, actually, of dating her. Just wanted to do the proper time to do it. Because, obviously, she wanted her to finish law school first before I even brought that attention. But now I always knew, though. Like, you know when people say, when you know? Ah, been knew. Yeah, that's actually true. So, decided to propose, and a year later, we're about to get married. Well, we've been together 3 years before the marriage, so which I don't think is bad timing. Some motherfuckers wait 10 years. I'm
That's
not
me.
doing that. That's
I'm motherfuckers.
see, you can't do that. Hell no, that's not. Can't do that, big dog. But also, sometimes it's hard to find the right one too, though.
I'm like, I'm trying to be extra sure. I'm like, talking when you say when you know, you know. You've been in
No,
other
you
relationships. We dated other girls.
no, it's
What's
mm,
the difference? How does it?
not
How do you know?
certain
Is
things.
it
Like,
age? Is it a maturity? Or is it specific to the person?
I say the person though, because I don't feel like the age. Well, mm, I don't want to say the ages because there's some age gaps between people getting married though, and they be happy. So I can't really say the age, and I believe it's honestly to me it's the person.
But I just mean in terms of the mentality of like the maturity aspect of like when you as a man go to make the decision to take that leap. Like obviously you're not gonna try to propose and you think she's gonna say no, but at the same time, it's a lot involved in getting married outside of if
Um,
you're a person or not.
honestly, you should know though. It should be red flags before you propose though. Like if y'all wasn't in a good space, why the hell are you doing that? So, you shouldn't be surprised if it's a no if you try to do it. Because I knew somebody, I'm not gonna say his name, but I knew somebody that was in the wrong place with a girl, tried to propose, and it was a no. But it was like you kind of already saw it because it was y'all was having like issues, like on the verge of breaking up before you did that. This is not a movie, big dog. This, you can't just go ahead and go with the spur of the moment. But to me, it is the person though. It's the person that defines who you are. Because me and her being in the great, we're in a great space. Well, I mean, obviously we're in a great space. She said yes, so but yeah. So I
But
already
you've been in
knew.
bad spaces before too.
I mean, that's for every couple though. You have to have adversity to go through it though. To
Hmm.
see, y'all get in fights. Because to me, any couple that don't get in a fight, don't trust it. Don't trust
Bad.
it. Because you have to get in fights to see like how would you respond. Like I'm not saying purposely get in a fight, but it's going to happen. Y'all gonna have a lot of disagreements and all that. So you just have to see how that is when it all come together. Either it's
And
gonna
what's
be
the
good
process been
communication.
like for y'all in terms of like compared to your other relationships where you were like, oh, okay. Like what were the things during your dating time where you were like, oh, nah, it's different this time.
Other ones, it was like not talking and so I'll just say this now because I don't even care no more. Entertain other guys. Yeah, that one was you only doing that because that was a red flag. You only doing that to make me bad.
Mm-hmm.
That's a red flag. Why are you serious?
Retaliatory.
That's what I'm saying.
It
Like,
ain't even about what it's about no more.
yeah. So with Ty, it was like, because with her, when we get in a fight, it was okay. We say, we distance for like probably 30 minutes or something, and we just sit there. But we probably don't talk. But after that, come together and be like, what we doing? Okay, let's talk it out. And this was new to me because I never experienced that before. So now I experienced that, I was like, oh, oh damn, oh, I might have found the one for real. So that was right there was like one of the other green flags, and I was like, oh, so we could just communicate and then don't like how the others entertain people. No, just be loyal, and then we was communicating and got through it. Cause no, don't get me wrong, me, I I shut down. Not gonna lie, I'll be shutting down. So she give me probably my little shutdown hours, probably like 30 minutes, and then she be like, okay, let's talk it out. And then we talk, and boom, everything good.
So it's easy or it's simple. It's not easy.
Yeah, it's simple. It's not easy though, because boy, I'll tell y'all some of the arguments, but it's it's not easy though. But it is simple. But then
Okay.
it's not
So,
supposed to be easy
yeah, I was like, easy not the word. It's never easy, but it
though.
is
Yeah,
simple.
Never.
You know the pattern, you
Mm-hmm.
know the process of like, okay. And you can trust that there will be a resolution. It will just take time. And so in that same vein, before I dig deeper into that vein, let me ask you, what is your
Mm-hmm.
definition of like what does marriage mean to you?
How I see it, how I grew up on it is get married and live happy ever after. That's what I see it. Don't matter how hard it get, you got things to survive it. Therapy, marriage counseling. So I look at it.
So it's commitment.
That's what I see.
So how are you deciding to commit? Why are you deciding to commit?
Because no, I don't see nobody else in my future. I only see her.
Mm.
I only see her.
And what happens if those feelings change in the future?
Mm, people
That's why
say it
you get
could,
married
but
and commit.
man, people say it could probably like well, other people would probably change it, but it is to define how you want to move. Like, I mean, it's going to be hard times, but that's why it's got to be strong and talk that out.
And so let me go back. If we understand that as the definition of marriage, of like it's a commitment. That's not, because some people it's
Mm-hmm.
trust, some people it's love, but it's commitment. It's like understanding you two people are coming together and making this commitment.
Mm-hmm.
In that same vein, so like you talked about conflict resolution as a process, you talked about, like obviously it was a journey. You met her, like you've been in other relationships. It's like, oh, okay, it's healthy, right? Healthy, happy,
Mm-hmm.
longevity. In that vein, once you cross that threshold of like, okay, now we're married, how does that change your perspective and approach to life? Before this point, it's your life that you're living, right? Now
Mm-hmm.
you're making the commitment for it to be our life. What is that process like in your brain of really coming to terms with that ideal?
Okay. Because we was doing it before. I always thought it was our life.
What do you mean by that? Since
Yeah,
when?
probably since before, a little bit before I proposed to her.
Well, obviously before you proposed, nigga. I'm talking about you've been with her for 4 years. I'm like, at what point in that 4 years did you start making that shift of like, it's not just me, it's a we?
I have no idea. Um, Probably a little bit after I proposed to her. That's when I was like, "This is our life." Like, pretty much when we also when we moved to Maryland too, because
When is
hmm,
timelines of like the relationship wise of like of that 4 years, you're saying when you proposed to her, when you moved to Maryland, but this a podcast, so these niggas don't know.
yeah, oh yeah, my fault. Really, pretty much, let's say last year, like when we was talking about the moving to Maryland and everything together, and I was just like, "Oh, this it's us." She was saying it too. It's us. Not just me, it's not just you, because that's what we do now. This was we doing before we got married. Like our stuff, our this, like everything is ours. It's not yours, mine. Like I mean, obviously, the only thing is clothes and shoes. Cause I'm not wearing her clothes. But everything else is we claim it as us.
And you're saying year 3 out of 4, you already noticed stuff like that. It's like now the conversation is different. It's ours. The conversation is we.
Mm,
It's no longer me.
yeah, I say 2022 and 2023 was like yours and mine. But once we knew we was about to go in this for a long run, that's when it became ours. Like late 23.
So why was the move to Maryland such a catalyst?
Well, you know your cousin, so for
I
her,
know, but the internet don't know.
oh yeah, but for her it was for work, like attorney. So me, I never had no damn plans moving to Maryland. She was never even my damn for location to move to. Like I thought I was gonna be in Georgia a little longer before I met her. So I'm like, you know what? Well, honestly, I don't like long distance. That's another thing. I don't like long distance because it just kudos to people who do long distance relationships. I can't, but and it was just like nah. So it was like I've been in Georgia too long. So I'm like I don't want to do long distance. I don't want to leave her or she leave me. So I'm like you know what? Let me take this step and move to Maryland with her. And it's been working good so far. New home, new environment. Shit, when we went to Georgia last weekend, I was like, oh, that's it. Feel like I ain't missed a beat. Like the only thing is in Georgia is friends. If I ain't had no friends in Georgia, then why?
And yet you was there for years before meeting her, right?
Mm-hmm. Like probably like I got there. I think it was 2006. Yeah, I've been in 2006. I've been in
And
Georgia since 2006 to 2004.
so it felt like home.
Mm-hmm. Basically, even though I'm from Detroit, but Georgia is the second home.
And so when you met her, because she was down there for school,
Mm-hmm.
y'all started dating, and the relationship progresses, and you reach this point where
Oh,
it's like now she's about to move, and you have to confront, that's where that relationship now takes on a different tone. And
oh
what
no,
it's
I wasn't.
like, you
Oh no,
know,
I didn't want to do. I didn't want to do that shit at first. Definitely didn't want to move at first. Absolutely not.
and so this is where we get into the psychology of it, of like when
Mm-hmm.
when you trigger this response of like now I have to make some big decisions. That's when you start asking the bigger questions of like not just what is this relationship worth to me, but like what, all the things. Like what am I doing with my life? What am I giving up? What am I getting in exchange? Like what does it all really mean? All those things. And instead of diving into the process you take yourself through, I'm more interested in what specific either questions, prompts, or lines of thoughts lead you from a place of like, okay, like we can make I'm gonna move with you and we're gonna, see how this goes and make it worse. Like the relationship's not over. But then jumping from that to I'm finna marry you for the rest of my life. You see what I'm saying? Like there's gotta be a gap between those two things. Or are you saying for you there was no gap? That's what I'm interested in hearing about.
Oh well, I already made a decision to move with her before proposing to her because for me it was like, okay, you proposed to her, but you're not gonna move. That would have been like, okay, what was the point of doing that then? That's what I looked at it. So don't get me wrong, it was. Ooh, I did not want to do that at first. I'm telling you because we talked about this in 2023, like probably like mid 2023. We talked about it. So because she graduated in 2024, but yeah, we talked about it in 2023, and this is like we talked about it, and I'm like, it ain't until another year, so I got time to even digest of what I want to do. But she still 10 toes on it. She was not playing. She was, and I'm just like, do I really want to do this? But it was one night I just sat back and thought like, nah, I got to do this. I have to do this. Like it's like this is about to be your because of course I didn't tell her I was gonna propose to her, but I already had in my head that I wanted to. So I was like, yeah, I mean, fuck it, you just gotta go for it. And sometimes you do things that's uncomfortable. Like you're not gonna be in a comfortable situation all the time. So you gotta do things that make you uncomfortable. And sometimes some things that make you uncomfortable is good. And yes, I wasn't first time we moved, it was a little rough. I wasn't happy being there. Because I moved from I was so comfortable in Georgia. I knew where everything was and all that. So moved to a different environment where you got people drive different, people talk different. There's different food there. So
Culture.
yeah, so the whole thing is different. So I told you when we first got there, it was like, but as soon as I like digest more into it, I was like, I like Maryland. And now it's just like I told you earlier, when we moved to Georgia, I was just like, I mean, when we went to Georgia last week, I was just like, oh, okay, it's cool. Like I
So
don't
it's
even
one
miss
of
Georgia
the
no
things
more.
where you don't know until you go, type of deal, right?
Yeah, but you could think that it may be like anybody out there who want to move or moving for their partner. If you don't think you're gonna like it, just give it a try first. Don't be so quick like I was to just try to disregard the state. And Maryland is cool. It's nice. I mean, I don't advise nobody going to DC, all that shit going on, but I say Virginia and Maryland, you cool.
So let me ask you this, of like in that same vein, when you talk about the separation between again, because it is a symbiotic of like it's a you and a her makes the we. If you didn't like it, does that change the scenario at all? Does it change the way it plays out at all? Does it change? You see what I'm saying? Like maybe you get to Maryland and it's like you don't hate the relationship, but you hate the place, you hate the city. Like how does that change everything else? How does that affect your relationship? You see what I'm saying? Like you
Well,
who knows you.
I'll tell anybody this. At the end of the day, yes, you love your partner, but you always come first. You got to do what makes you think is right before you make the decision and like, like for your partner. Like, okay, so if I did like it, I probably and 100% probably would have tried to move back to Maryland, and we would have tried a long distance thing. I don't like it, but I would have tried it for her. So that's what I tell anybody out there. Like, if you don't like it, bro, just he or her, just do what makes you happy first. Like, don't force it, because if you force it, you're gonna be more miserable, and you don't want
Mm.
to do that, because then you more miserable. That's gonna be probably a little stain in the relationship. Because
You end up shooting
don't
yourself in the foot either way.
yeah, don't fake it. Just have a conversation with he or her, and just because if you're miserable, that's just gonna put the relationship even more unstable. Because then you gonna try to blame them, like, oh, I moved out here for you and blah blah blah, and you don't want to do that because then it's gonna turn to problems. So, like I said, just do what's right for you. Think about yourself first. If you're comfortable where you at, you don't want to move. Don't. If you want to try new things and move, go ahead.
And see, when you say it like that, it all sounds so simple, but I know what you're really speaking to. And so the next question I have for you then becomes, again, let's say alternate universe,
Mm-hmm.
you gotta move. What I'm hearing you say is that doesn't change how you feel in the relationship. And because of
Mm-hmm.
how you feel, you're willing to now be like, I'm gonna make this work some way, right? And so it's
Mm-hmm.
like, I can't move to Maryland with you, but I still want to be with you.
Yeah.
Realistically, how do you see that working? How do you see that changing these developments currently? Of like, because again, you said you was already considering proposing before the whole move thing happened. You already knew. You already knew you wanted to be married, but what happens when it doesn't all work out? Like, obviously, that's part of why I'm like, let me get this now on podcast because your shit just working out. Like, that's
Oh
not
yeah.
to say, like, obviously, it's a lot of work, like all the things,
Yeah.
like that the internet doesn't know that I know. But again, you also know it's like your shit don't usually go this smooth. Like, it just don't usually.
um. See, that's the thing. I don't want to. Whoever listening, I don't want to give them no false hope. Like I said, that shit was hard as hell for me. Like it's sad. It sounds easy, but it wasn't. because you got to think about it. Me leaving Georgia, because she only been in Georgia for 3 years, so yeah, she got a couple of friends there. But me, I left a lot of my people. Like all my groomsmen is all lived in Georgia. You know how crazy that is?
That's what
So
I'm
it's just
saying.
like,
Talk about it. You didn't tell the podcast. They don't know how crazy it is.
yeah, it is like because it's crazy because some people could just do it, which I don't know how. Because some people out there that could just be like, man, fuck this, I'm leaving. That's not me. So I had to think about like all the food spots I was leaving, all the like the when I used to hoop with friends, like just everything was in Georgia. So I had to really either friends, family, or whatever, or move with your soon to be wife. So I'm like, you know what? I chose to move because at the end of the day, people lives move on. So it was like, my friends ain't dead. I'm gonna see them. And then just looking up plane tickets all the time, like a plane ticket is not bad going to Georgia. It's like I don't know, be like 100 something, but the ride is also an hour and 10 minutes, like a plane. So it's like nah, because it's like you found the one. Don't throw it away because it's fucking Georgia. Like get your ass up and move and to try this new life with your wife. So yeah, because at the end of the day, I'd rather be with my woman. And I'm not trying to disregard friends and nothing, none of that. But it's just like at the end of the day, I'm not marrying my friends. I'm not like I can't do that. So it's just like, nah. Like you said, they're not dead. Like I can always see them. It's not like we moved across the goddamn country. Like yeah, it's not like we moved to fucking we don't want to say California or damn a different country somewhere. Like still in the United States, we're not that far a plane drive. So I'm like, and the great part is they all understood too, because they said I would have did the same thing.
And
So
see that right
yeah,
there, that vein is where I find I want to start where I wanted to start this conversation with you, especially as another like again, I'm not married. I'm not even I'm and see this is where it's like I'm living in LA, like I'm on my like grind. Like I'm like bang 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 locked in, like don't
mm,
be out here getting caught up with these LA hoes, like you don't got
mm,
time for that shit. But again, even in that, even when I'm telling myself that every day in my heart of hearts, I still have that sentiment resonate when I talk to you. And I see it, and it's like, man, it's you see what I'm saying? Like there's a part of that that any real nigga has to respect of like a he's you see what I'm saying? Because it's like before when I was first hearing about you, it's like I hadn't met you. I had no read on you. I hadn't felt your
mm,
energy, nothing. Like I don't know nothing about you. I don't know what kind of guy you are. But when I'm like, there's always something to be said for somebody who's not just talking the talk, but is willing to walk the walk. Like when you talk about the risks, like what you are giving up, and that's what you talk about. Like it's not to disregard friends and foods, like your life. You're giving up your life, the life that you
mm,
have built by yourself for the chance
mm,
at a life that you could build with her together.
mm,
And that's really what we're talking about. And so what becomes of immense value, I think, to anybody watching this and to me when I talk to you is like exploring that thought process, that realization of like like, yes, something has changed. I feel like I found the one. I know I want to marry this person, but like you realizing in the process of what you're really willing to do to be with her. And like that's not something you're aware of before these pivotal moments. You're like, oh shit. Like,
yeah. You really don't know until like everything calmed down after the move, and you like, damn, I really did just give up all this. But also, I would do it 1,000 million more times
and see,
because that's
that's
how
where
much I.
you're like, now we get into the think of it of separating these concepts of like love and marriage. And that's why I asked for your definition earlier because love, I'm like many of people before me have tried to tackle that. What I'm more
Uh,
interested in is the
yeah,
idea
that
of
the
marriage.
yeah, because the love word is too many people throw it out there,
Throwing
and
it
it's
around
just like
willy-nilly.
you you. And I think also people need to separate themselves from is, and this is sad because this happens a lot. Do you love the person or do you love the idea what the person do for you?
Talk about it.
And
Talk
that's
about what
where
that
people get
means to you.
all of me is like if you love the person, as in like, no, I'm not saying that they don't do nothing for you, but y'all just have a natural loving relationship. It's like y'all the person he don't be well because I'm sorry because he can't spoil you because I'm about to say I spoiled Ty, but it wasn't like we didn't base it off of that, and that's just actually loving a person. But then you got the people they love the stuff you do for them, spoil them, do things for them without them having to do it for them. And you could tell. Well, I don't know. Some people can't tell, but just everything they do for you. Uh, just because I'm trying to explain this in a good way. Because I
Let
know
me
it's
ask a
people.
question that I think will help get you where I believe you're going. In your relationship, there was probably a moment where you realized, because every man has that, like, you're, again, especially in this generation where it's like we understand the conditioning that's going on of like you're in a relationship and you're looking for those flags, those cues of like, does she love what I'm doing for her or does she love me? At what points in your relationship did you start to realize, like, oh, she really loves me?
Because I tell this story a lot. So I was in a. Oh fuck, we on the podcast. This is old anyway. But I was in a car situation, like my old car. I was behind like probably two payments behind, and they was threatening to repo the car. So she was telling her about it, and this is where it's just like, oh damn, like like she really is her. She didn't say, "Oh, what you gonna do?" or figure it out. She said, "What we gonna do?" So then that's when I was like, okay. So that was just that, and then just the little stuff. Like she go out her way just to do things for me, and I'm like, well, damn, this is getting real. And then, well, I love about me and her because I do things for her too. I don't want nothing in return. We don't throw nothing back in each other's faces. Like, oh, you remember I did this for you? Nah, at all. See, how I see it is somebody who love doing things for you, or you love the idea what they do for you, would kind of throw it in your face. Like, you remember that I did this for you?
It's not
Oh,
transaction. You're
yeah.
seeing in her actions that she's just thinking about you, like she's considering you, and you're
Mm-hmm.
considering her in that sense of like it's really not about there. Like the idea of individualism leaves, and it's like a your happiness and joy, and like I love you, and so I want you to be able to be you, and so I am working with you to remove anything that is not serving that because I have established the idea that you being you is worth whatever sacrifice I'm making because it impacts me being me. Does that sound accurate
Mm-hmm.
to you? Because that's what I
No.
feel like I hear you saying of like there's a different it's a hard thing to try to articulate because you don't really it's such a subtlety that you're not aware of except for
Mm-hmm.
in really intimate relationships. And we don't have a lot of intimate relationships outside of our direct family ties. And like even those become so toxic and transactional. Whereas like you don't have that blood conditioning of like, oh, we're family. It's like, no, you're not my family. Like, you're just this random motherfucker that I've met and have chosen to be attached to. And that's where that
Mm-hmm.
commitment idea comes into play opposed to the love. It's like, is somebody committed to you? And is it committed to you or the things that you bring to your life? And when you say like seeing it day to day play out in a relationship, if you pay attention, there are a lot of things. It's like the subtleties. Like I understand when you tell that story, it's like a we in that moment is very different because it's like you're listening different. Like you see what I'm saying? Like a lot of people wouldn't catch that kind of thing because it's so psychological. It's like you have, unless you've been on that other side of dealing with females, where it's like, I understand, like somebody tell you that, like if I told you, like, damn, bro, like I'm about to lose my car, you'd be like, damn, I feel for you. Like, cause that's the appropriate response. Like, you're not gonna be like, let me write you a check. Like, that's you're not expecting that. You're just like, this is what's happening to me. But if I did hit you with the like, bro, like, how can I help you? Like, these, like, the responses always indicate a person's internal thought. And I think that's really what you're talking about is like this process we go through as we interact and engage with one another. There's a
Mm-hmm.
consistency that shows people's habits. And like the habits show your thought process and like where you really feel. That's why people say, don't tell me you love me, show me you love me, because it will show
Mm-hmm.
up. It will show up in your actions in your
Yeah.
daily. Like even with it with this, it's like you getting on a Zoom with me and like, nigga, I'm her cousin. It's like you and me are in here fucking around like we was late. Like it's really not a big thing, but at the same time, she coming in here to get you straight and like it's not bother. Like she go off and do her own thing and just like, do you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's the devil's in the details because it's the little things that turn into the big things. The little things matter almost more than the big things because it's that macro micro of like there is no big things without a bunch of little things.
Yeah, that's what makes it. And I tell everybody all the time, like, bro, she changed my life for the better. I mean, it's not like I was out here doing crazy shit in my life, but like, as far as just doing business aspects and just handling money and doing things, I do it right because of her. Because don't get me wrong, boy, I was when it comes to money, I was a little shitty. So I used to be spending on stupid stuff. But now that we're building a life together, I mean, granted, I can still get things, but I can't just. I'm not by myself where I can just do out and buy things, which I'm okay with it because she helps me a lot when it comes to like my whole life. She was well, not the whole life, my fault. Since I've been with her, she's been helping me like with things like business aspects, money wise, how to do certain things, different mindsets. Because I'm not gonna lie, I had an ignorant mind a little bit when it comes to things, the topics. Now that she's been in my life, I see things different now. We can say that. I don't have the same ignorant
You
mindset I
feel
used to have.
yourself growing and evolving from being in this
Yeah.
relationship.
Yeah, because don't get me wrong. Sometimes certain things I am one sided. I I'm trying to work on that, but at the end of the day, we two different people. So I'm gonna have a different mindset. She's gonna have a different mindset of certain topics. And yeah, we have gotten a lot of debates about it. I mean, granted, I haven't won nothing because at the end of the day, people who listening, it is hard to try to win a debate with an attorney, but just keep trying. Gotta keep trying. Yeah, because I have not won one yet.
Mhm. But see, that's another thing too when we talk about marriage and like, especially a relationship that's not transactional. How do you then define the idea of compromise? You see what I'm saying? Because if there's no room for
That's a
you in
good.
the
Ooh, that's a good one.
relationship, you can't function, and then it doesn't work anyway.
Mm. We compromise on a lot of stuff. Usually, and I'm gonna say this. Usually, I think I know what I'm talking about, and I really don't. So I really have to think about and sit and like, okay, you was right. So we compromise for how we gonna do it, and it ended up being, worked out well. Because don't get me wrong, I have done things without talking to her first, and it backfired, bit me in the ass. And so after that, she said, you know what? If you would have listened to me and did that, you know, because I hate admitting when she's right sometimes, but she do be right. So I'm learning more about just compromising certain things when it comes to us talking about it, instead of me trying to be Superman and do it myself. Because I want to say probably 80% of the time when I try to do it by myself, it didn't work out how I thought it was gonna work out. So that's when Big Tyler got to step in.
And see, that's where I feel like this one I feel like is gonna come out really interesting because I'm like in talking to you, I also texted her because you guys are there. I'm like, she can get on right after you and give that alternative perspective, and then we'll all be able to see it brick by brick, side to side of like because the way you're describing it is so interesting in a way that I don't think you realize because
Mm,
you're talking about when we talk about those subtleties again, right? And it's like the
mm,
way we communicate as human beings, there's something about the way you talk about her that you see what I'm saying? But it's not like because at the end of it, it's like, I was joking. I'm like, you got all here thug deficit with the do-rag. It's like I'm like, one thing about you. I was like, it ain't like you some punk. Like you know what I mean? Like you're not some simp,
mm.
out here,
Oh, you know
tired.
what's crazy? Honestly, if people ever tell me that, I really don't give a damn. I'm like, okay, I'm a simp. I'm about to marry my best friend. Who cares? That's
Do
how I
you
look
see what
at
I'm saying? Of like, and that it's like it's in that exemplifies exactly what I'm talking about to a T of like somebody who is confident in their self. Like you
it.
understand who you are, you understand your values, understand what's important to you. And so having like obviously she's my cousin, and so like our relationship is such that it's like I was hearing about how she talks about you way before I ever heard about you talking about her. And so having developed
Mm-hmm.
this relationship with you on the back side of that, that's where that becomes so much more apparent to me of like seeing it from two separate sides of like, damn, like these motherfuckers really in love. Like, like, cause you know what I mean? Of like, because like when you talk about faking it, like you see so often people trying to force themselves or believe in these ideas or like that idea of that person that you think you're with, opposed to just being you and
Yeah,
letting your partner be you.
and yeah, and I have a problem with people like that too, because to me, it's more so, yeah, because we can say nigga on here, right? Oh,
I
okay,
did.
all
I
right.
already said it like three, four times. I'm like,
All
all right,
right.
fuck.
Oh, okay, okay. I had to make sure. But yeah, when niggas be, man, they be like faking it about the person, the girl they love in front of they dude. And they niggas like, bro, who cares? Like, I'm acting like that. Like, that's what, I can't stand people like that. Like, what you faking for? If you loving your girl, if you sent for your girl, you sent for your girl. Who cares? Now, don't be a simp for every female. Like, if you dating, don't do that.
And let me be
Don't do that.
clear here.
Yeah, I'm saying your girl. I ain't say what you was dating. I said your girl.
And
Like,
see, that's what I'm
there's,
saying. Of like, that's the thing that I find so interesting about these Zooms is because it's like I do know everybody I bring on here is like I know these people are like I know what they mean. I know what they're talking about. But what I found is so I don't even know what to call it. Like so gratifying for me in packaging this way and like trying to essentially create that vision of like showing somebody who doesn't know. Like when we get together and we just chop it up and like have this dialogue, we don't know the fucking nuggets that are coming out of this just because you see what I'm saying? Because we're just
mm,
being real and we're like and people are seeing and hearing perspectives and shit like they just never considered. They never thought about it like that. And like having the meeting of the minds where it's like, oh shit, like we really, I'm like, I really do be out here like talking to people about crazy shit. It's like to me, I'm not thinking about it like that. And you, it's like you're not thinking about like, oh, I'm talking about marriage and all that. But a lot of times we be talking about that shit of like, you're like, damn, no, like this is my
Yeah.
like I love your cousin as like not as a like you're trying to convince me of anything. It's like no, you really just love her. Like you like talking about her, like you like being around her, you like hanging out with her, like you guys laugh together, you do shit together. It's like being able to see that is gratifying, not just as like again, this is my family. I want to make sure my family's straight and her life is good. And like, but also meeting another black man and being like, I fuck with this nigga. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, and I'm like, because again, like you could have been a great match for her and I didn't fuck with you. And I would still have that happy, like I'm happy. You see what I'm saying? Like I'm happy for her. And I'm like, but that's what I meant earlier where I'm like, y'all should just working out in a way that is so abnormal. That is when you talk about what it can do for other people is like having that hope of like you do not see this shit in the media. You don't see like people talking about like it's very much the opposite propaganda being spewed and circulated of like no, like niggas are out here like getting married and having happy marriages that are extremely successful and like make them better people, like teach them a
Hmm.
lot, like help them grow and like great partnerships and building great lives and great families. And I feel like there's not enough of that conversation going around. It's not as rare as we think. It's just
No.
niggas don't like, people who are happy don't go around preaching to other people about how to be happy. And that's where I think it
Yeah.
becomes so valuable because it's like, for me, I'm like, I'm not taking this shit too seriously. I'm not trying to preach to anybody. I'm just trying to chop it up with my people. And if niggas
No.
take something away from that, dope. If they don't, I still took something from it because it's so hard to have these kinds of conversations because life
Hmm.
is life
Yeah,
all the
because
time.
I'm not about to tell a grown ass man how to treat your woman, bro. That's if you don't know how to do that, then I
Probably
I don't
shouldn't
know.
have a woman.
That's what I'm saying. Like, because I get it. Some people ask like we grown. Some people ask like for relationship advice and all that. But if you out here doing dumb stuff, then I can't help you. Why are
You're
you
not
doing
ready
that?
to be in a relationship.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why are you doing this? Like, for one, where like they be mad and shit, and they be when that girl reacted when I'm cheating. You cheated.
You thought she was gonna be like,
Yeah.
oh damn, I feel it. You got me like, no, nigga, like what?
Yeah. Like, oh, geez, you got me there. Like,
But see,
I,
that's part of that media influence too, is like trying to like dramatize this shit like it's real life of like, oh, cheated and she stayed. Like, no, nigga, that's not how that shit goes.
this
If she
is
got any self-respect,
this
you cheated on her, she out. Like, you fucked up. This is
this
social
is
contract.
this is why social media is brainwashing people, bro. Everybody, why? That's when I don't. That social media shit don't do it for me because half that shit on there is fake.
Not half, most of it.
Yeah, you're right. Most of it is
Most
fake.
of this shit
Like,
is fake. Especially, nigga, this is before AI. Like now they adding all the AI shit. So it's really finna be fake now.
it's a damn shame, bro. The world's coming to.
At the same time, that's where I'm like, for me, my hope is that when I do this shit, it's like I believe in being the part of the change you want to see. Of like, if I don't want to be a nigga who just complains about how shit is fucked up. I want to be a nigga adding to the positivity. Like adding, I want to everywhere I go, I want to show up and be an example of what is good there. Like what people are gravitating to, what they want to be around. I don't want to be, woe and is me and life sucks and there's no hope. Like, no, there is. You just gotta know how to maneuver and find your
Yeah,
shit.
yeah, uh, yeah. Anybody that's going through this stuff, and I don't think his life's gonna get better. I mean, don't get me wrong. Life do be rough. That shit is true, but it will get better eventually, though. It will get better eventually.
If you work it,
Uh,
if you believe that it
yeah,
will.
yeah. So people out there that's going through it, man, God got a way. It's never over. It get, I've been through some shit too. It could be rough as hell. but it's gonna find its way back to the light.
You just gotta stay in the
And
fight, man.
my yep, and my light is Tyler.
Mm, mm,
That's my
mm,
light. That's my
mm.
peace. That's my home.
I'm about to. Oh boy, watch when this shit come out. I'm about to chef this shit up. I already know because I didn't think about it. I didn't think about approaching it this way when I first started, but I feel it. I feel that on it because what I'm gonna do is we just wait and see. Wait and
Mm,
see. I'm gonna cook this shit up. I'm gonna cook this shit up because she's gonna hop on and I'm gonna get her perspective. And when you see me chop this shit together, you're gonna see what I was talking about. You're gonna see how you niggas be resonating and you don't even realize. Y'all be separate,
mm,
saying the same shit on the same type of time. And this is the shit that niggas need to see. Like this is the shit that you can't communicate to niggas. You see what I'm saying? They gotta see it. When you talk about niggas asking you for advice, it's because you're clearly doing something that other niggas ain't doing. You know
yeah.
something that other niggas ain't don't know. But you're just like, nigga, I'm just doing me. I just found what
Which
I
which
want.
is which is crazy because you're right. I am just naturally doing me. I'm not forcing it. It's like, why would I break up a happy home where I literally call her my peace at home? So why would I destroy that? For
Because you
what?
have the
What?
wisdom to understand and recognize that you found yourself in that position. That's where I think a lot of people don't understand. It's like I knew when I met you, I was like, this guy is smart. It's there's a wisdom. Like there's like people there's a big difference between being intelligent and being wise. And people don't understand wisdom because we're not taught it. But when you talk about wisdom and how I define it, it's again being an awareness of like you understand where you're falling short, where you're not falling short, good things, bad things, all the things. Yeah.
Oh well. All right. Well, the missus
Because
is.
we'll get to talking for 3 hours and then there'll be too much
Yeah.
saying it.
Yeah, I know.
We You'll see. We got a lot of good shit in. We got a lot of good shit in. I'm excited for y'all to see this shit.
Oh, absolutely. Tyler. Oh, wow. Never mind. Ugh. Just calling her Tyler sound weird. I don't remember the last time I even called her Tyler. Oh my god.
See, this. I'm like, this
Yeah.
is gonna be great for the podcast because again, it speaks to your relationship. Nigga, that's her name.
Yeah.
You know,
I know. That's the weird part because anytime she called me Terrence, I'm like, oh damn, I did something.
this is your government. That's the
Yeah,
kind of
like
relationship you got. You don't even use niggas
yeah,
government.
yeah. When we use government names, oh my god, oh yeah, that sounds crazy. I don't even. No, that's insane. Babe, babe. Yeah,
She
that's
go,
that's what
I just
everybody else.
walked out that shit.
That's what everybody out there say that. That's where it's at.
That's where you want to be. That's where the love
Yeah, it
is.
is your turn.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess hear from her perspective.
Don't go in there. We're expected with ants.
And well, yeah, that's the babe is it. Everybody knows.
My God, I
It's our
appreciate you. I
always
appreciate you
my
more
good
than you
people.
know.
Yeah, all right, my good people.
I'm gonna tap in with you. Well,
Oh my
look
God, that is
here.
bigger ears. I don't think you're supposed to be in here when I'm talking. Oh. You wasn't even. I was in my dad's room. You could have.
What's good, Guzzo?
Not much.
You got that life it look on you.
No. This literally, this, I'm still waiting on one school,
Mhm.
community college. And mind you, I did this like sent like the request and everything had been sent out to them at the end of July. And they're like, oh well, the person who does the verification communication. Like they quit, so we really don't have anybody. So it's just people filling in, and it's just taking a long time. And I'm like, I've been calling you every day. Like you're sitting here telling me you can't find somebody to do it. Like I didn't even get in trouble at school. I was there for 2 years. Like don't piss me off. And they're pissing me off.
She like, I just want this shit done. I got plans to make, moves to do.
No, but it is what it is. So we'll tackle that on Monday.
Woosah. Like what Taylor would be saying, shake it off.
God,
Well, this will be a great distraction for you and the
hopefully.
woes of life. We're gonna talk about something that you love to talk about, which is marriage. You about to get married in less than what, 7 days?
7 days.
7 days, man. Whole ass
1
wedding.
week from today.
To the
Yeah,
brother who
people
just
will be
hopped
getting
off.
ready. Special guy, special guy.
Talk to me. What does marriage, what's the idea of marriage mean to you? Let's start with the easy stuff.
Easy, sure. Um, okay, so really the idea of marriage or kind of what I picture it to be or how I want it to be is a partnership of unwavering support that you are always having in any endeavor that you're going through, that this is a person that you are choosing to rely on, to support, to love through every up and down. It's like, it's basically your built-in family, but a person that you want to be connected to on every possible level.
Mhm.
Um, that's how I see it. That's how I'm going into it. That's how me and Terrence are going into it. What we've talked about and how I plan to live.
Mm. Mm. Very confident. That was a great response. Very, ooh, a good thing I had you come second. That'd been tough to follow. You seem like you had that rehearsed. I should wrote
Not at
that
all.
down.
Off the dome. Off the dome. Off
I
the dome.
know I cause
Everything's
I
being
know you, but
recorded.
the internet think they gonna be like, oh, they gonna think I practiced this shit. They gonna think this shit is like professional. Like you had a teleprompter off that. That was nice. That was I respect it. Hats off. What brought you to that definition or understanding of that idea of marriage?
I think just the way that I was raised and how family is very important. It's just always been like a huge pillar and foundation of me and everything that I go about. I heavily rely on my family, whether it be my sisters, my parents, my cousins, aunts, uncles. Family has just always been a very important thing to me, and I've moved that way with anybody that I bring into my life, even friends. If you're a friend, I truly consider you family. Like everybody else is kind of, acquaintances or people that I know. And I just moved that way with whoever I wanted to spend the rest of my life with as well. Um, and it just kept clicking. And I just went 100% in basically. And here we are.
Mm, mm, mm. Ooh, let me tell you what I love about talking to y'all too about this shit, man. Y'all, I was just telling him this a similar vein. It's like, I know this shit. I'm a noticer. I've always been like that. And I listen to people when they talk. A lot of people, their shit don't really add up. They say one thing and then their actions reflect another. One thing that I love about y'all's relationship is like I can talk to you guys on a multiple occasions and different occasions, separately, together, and it's this continuity, I think is the word I would use, that I find so refreshing and so fulfilling or satisfying, I would say is the word. Because I was also explaining to him, like, obviously you're my cousin. Like I've known you since you was a young buck. She was a youngin in the game, and I got nothing but love for you. I want the best for you. I want to see you winning. But that's only a part of this equation of like, you know me, I'm also not gonna pretend to like this nigga. If he was you know how black people are. If you like it, I love it. Like if he
Mhm.
was your guy and he should like there's a minimum base requirement of like if you love him and he treats you right and he's a good guy, nobody's asking for my stamp of approval, but I'll give it. But it's a different thing when I really fuck with you. You know what I mean? And I feel like I know you know what I mean because we're a lot alike in that way of like
Mhm.
to your point of like anybody I'm dealing with, I don't want to be giving the extra energy required to feel like it's work. Like I don't want it to be work. I either fuck with you or I don't. And it's not from a place of what you're doing or how you're changing. Like it's a character thing. It's like I want to know who you are as a person so that I can make that decision. And once I've decided you are a good person, I'm gonna dive in and we're gonna like we're together. Like we're support. Like everything you were just describing more articulately than me. So I'll to my point to you is that when I hear you guys on the same wave, on the same page, and you both being the kind of people that I would fuck with, even if we weren't family, it makes me that much more interested and leads to that place of satisfaction and happiness for you guys as a couple of like having found each other and found that resonance. It's just not, it's not normal. It's not commonly seen. I haven't commonly seen it, and I've seen a lot
Yeah.
for somebody my age. I was like, I can't downplay how happy it makes me to see. It's like two real niggas that came together and they're gonna make a real nigga family. Like I just love it. I love it for our family. I love it for the community. I just love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I want to take this opportunity to dig into it and break it down so that other people might can walk away with some nuggets and some free game. Because again, even in that first response, highly articulate. I think you broke it down in a way that a lot of people just wouldn't think about it like that. Like people hear marriage, they're like love or commitment or shit like that. And I'm like, it's not that simple. It's simple, but it ain't easy. It's like you are choosing to be with somebody, to support somebody. And it's like that shit is easy to say, but it's hard to really walk. And that's where I'm like, I just got Terrence's piece on it, but now we get to get your piece. And already that shit lining up. And I'm like, we man. I'm like, this shit might turn into something scrumptious after I cook it up. I'm like, I might have some views on the way, man. I might have some views. I'll just let you know. So my next question, I know you felt like oh, we started with the easy shit with the marriage shit. I know you're not getting married and you ain't thought about that shit. So that's why it's the easy shit. Now we gonna get into the when you started dating, right? It's like it's not like you know, I was telling him it's like one thing about him is like he ain't a simp. He's not like this is a person who is like he has his own identity, he has his own way, and it just really compliments you. And I was telling him, I heard a lot about him before I met him, in the way you would talk about him and like post and shit like that. My question for you becomes, it's not like you know, this ain't like you're not Hope. No shade to Hope, but it's like it's not like you were sheltered and like came up in a Christian
Mhm.
school and never met boys before. Like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you have experience, you've dated. What made this
Mhm.
shit different? And at what point in the courtship did you realize it was different?
I realized it was different pretty early on because you know me, you know my family. I'm not gonna say we're an acquired taste, but like it takes certain types of people to be able to constantly be around us and like be around our joking, our competitiveness and everything. Like for the most part, I really downplay it, you know, because it can be aggressive to a lot of people when I be showing who I really am. And in past relationships, I kind of worked up to that and everything and kind of like capped it at a certain level. Like I was like, okay, when I kind of like gave them glimpse, it didn't get the reaction that made me comfortable enough to just be like that 24/7. And with parents, honestly, I was just like, okay, and kind of just dove into just being like, this is who I am, like this is how I am 24/7. And he just took it in stride. Not only did he take it in stride, he loved it. And so I was like, okay. And just continued being myself every single day. He continued being himself every single day. And it just clicked, honestly. Like I think like you said, I had dated people and been through that, been through ups and downs, been through a bunch of stuff to where I'm just like, I can't keep doing this no more. And I didn't want to do it anymore. And I truly was at a point where I'm just like, especially being in law school, that I'm like, it's about me right now. This is about my career. This is the time that I'm focusing on setting myself up for the future that I want. And I really wasn't even thinking about being in a relationship or finding somebody. I was like, I can do that after I pass the bar and move to DC. Like that is fine with me. And with him, it was meant to truly just be casual. It was meant to just be like, okay, like something fun for summer, like nothing too serious. And it very quickly became something very serious because I realized I'm like, oh, you fuck with me. Like you fuck with me like me just being me and everything. And I actually like am not getting tired of you and really don't need breaks from you. That's not normal for me. But this feels so normal. And it just flowed, basically.
I love it for you. I do. And there will be some prompting of questions on my end of stuff that I know, but again, this is for the people
Mm-hmm.
listening who don't know. And so I love the way you laid it out and went full throttle because this sets the stage for the larger conversation as we dive deeper into it. Of like when you reach these thresholds, and we talked about this on the other side of like, you're in law school, you're in Georgia, you didn't grow up there, you don't live there, you don't really have hardcore attachment to it. Like you just said, you got plans and you're executing them regardless. You're not looking for love in all the wrong places, none of that shit. Like you're about your business. You on the grind, you're
Mm-hmm.
move, bitch, get out the way. Like that's the type of time you're on. And even still, now you reach this point where it's like, damn, I'm in a whole ass relationship and like a serious one that I didn't plan to be in, and not just by accident. Like, oh, it's not like you got pregnant or none of that. It's like this nigga wants to marry me, and I kind of want to let him. Like that's talk to me about that moment of like, now you've entered this space where it's like, hmm, I have to really consider like, do I want a future with this person? Like, was this something I was considering? Like, what was your thought process once you reached that part of the relationship? I think he says like 3 year mark of like y'all just together like 4 years. And it's like
Mm-hmm.
that time goes quickly when you're in the kind of space that you're talking about. But when you hit these landmarks of life of like, are we gonna do long distance? Like, what are we doing here? What are we really doing here? I think any real relationship reaches a point like, what are we really doing here? And I think that's the difference where I start really like let me dig into this shit a little bit more because this shit's crazy. Like these niggas get married. I'm like, you niggas,
Mm-hmm.
in my mind, I'm like, these niggas just started dating. But it's like, no, not really.
So, like I said earlier, Atlanta was always going to be a pit stop. I was never going to be staying in Atlanta. And there truly was like nothing that was changing my mind. Even when me and Terrence started dating, I made it very clear to him from the jump. I was like, I'm not staying here. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not staying here. And it was after, so we had started dating near the end of my first year of law school. So we go into my second year, and I'm like, okay, you know, my goal still is to move to DC. I plan to do an externship in DC in the summer to come and get a feel for it, meet some people, network, and everything. He was like, okay, yeah, cool. I'll just come up and visit you. And it was really that summer, I think, that our conversations definitely got more serious. One, because at that time I had a year left, right? I had one more year of law school. He truly was figuring out, like, what are we going to do? And I'm telling him, I'm like, listen, I'm like, either you could find a different city that you want us to move to together, or I was like, if you want to do long distance, we could see possibly how long that would work or something like that. But we both knew we really didn't want to do long distance just because from the moment we started dating, we pretty much spent every day together if we could. Um, and so he really needed to sit down and think about what he wanted for his future because he had been in his job just kind of like going along with the motions, not really thinking long term or anything. And so once that happened, he was like, okay, yeah, I'm ready to leave Georgia. And I was like, are you sure? I was like, is there any other cities that you're thinking about? Because I was like, I do want to be in DC for a while, but again, like that's not even a permanent spot for me. We could always move somewhere else and everything. He's like, yeah, no, I want to move to DC with you. And I was like, okay, okay.
Now
So I'm
talk
like,
to me about this moment of like again, more of your psychology of because again, men and women are different. And I'm like, you're coming from a different
mm-hmm,
perspective. It's one thing for him to love you. It's another thing for you to like, at what point are you realizing you're like, because again, I'm like, you have goals and futures and aspirations in mind. Like you've set that priority. And yet here comes this seemingly distraction. You see what I'm saying? Like it's like why am I even entertaining it? This shit taking up a lot of my time, my mental space of like, hmm, this nigga saying he want to move, but like, do you see what I'm saying? Like, I know
mm-hmm,
like there's most of the times it sound good. It just sounds good. But clearly, there was like, and obviously I know him, but like the internet don't know him. Of like, what was getting you to that place of like seriously considering even entertaining that shit? Because I know what you got in you. I'm like, it ain't nothing for you to be like, it's been cool, like, love you, sorry to
yeah,
go, but I told you from the jump.
I think it was the summer that I was up there and he had came to visit and we had just had a conversation, like we were just talking about it. And I was just like, because I even think I said, I was like, yeah, I don't believe you. I was like, you've been in Georgia for so long. I was like, I really don't even think you're trying to move. I was like, I really don't think that you would, honestly. And he was like, no. He was like, there isn't anything that I would do for you. I would follow you anywhere. He's like, if you want to go here, I would go there too. And I was like, okay, whatever you say. And then it was just like, I don't know, like if there was an exact moment. I think it was the fact that he just continuously was just steadfast in being like, no, I would follow you anywhere. Like where you go, I go. Like we're going together, basically. And I think just like having those continuous conversations of me just being like, are you sure? Are you sure? I was like, I'm not gonna be upset if you pull out. Like I'm going to DC either way. I was like, if you really want to do long distance, we can do long distance and everything. He's like, no, I don't want to do long distance. Like, I'm coming with you. And I think just that continuous was just kind of like, I can't help but take you serious at this point, especially because he hasn't given me any reason to not trust him at his word.
Now
So,
that part
yeah.
is huge. And this is where I want to jump in again for the podcast of like, because I know you and I know your character and I know again the like I've told you this a lot of like again you understanding and coming into the reality of like you not being normal and like your capacity for bullshit of like one to be aware of it and two to set the standard to not engage in it. A lot of people can't do that. A lot of people don't do that, but you created that habit and that standard in your life. So when you're engaging with somebody who is not selling dreams and catting off and just on some saying what sounds good, it's like all of it, it's like I was telling him, I'm like, there's a point where actions and words line up in a way that is very difficult to describe or articulate. You just have to be conditioned really from a practical standpoint to just know like there's a bullshit meter of like there's a point where you know like oh this motherfucker's serious like he's not playing like no he means that shit and then it makes you start you gotta now think differently about how you're looking at this relationship of like because he's serious like
Mhm.
we this is a we not a me. How does that make you feel in that moment of like does that change you know because you set your it's like it was you initially it was a you and now you're like do I got room for two? Did you ever have that moment in your relationship where you start hitting those places?
I think anytime that I go into a relationship, I'm not really going into it half-assed or being like, okay, well, like we'll just see kind of like where this goes, how long, or anything like that. So pretty early on, I had already started thinking about our plans as we. It was really just me being like, okay, like let's just see if he's really gonna be on board with this move. Like once I got him on board with the move, everything else was gonna be smooth sailing. And I had already started thinking like, okay, if we move and do this, we can do this and all of these things. So like that was already playing in my mind early on in our relationship, just because I'm like, I'm 100% in. He's telling me he's 100% in. He's showing me he's 100% in. So that's how I had already started moving. But I think I really like started picturing it after I, like you said, took him serious. Like took him like 1,000% serious. It was like, okay, let's look for places. Let's do this. Like I was only looking for myself. I was really doing this. Like I'm really considering like my sisters possibly or whatever. But you're right. Like me and you, what are we doing? Blah 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 blah. So I think at that point it was probably like the beginning of my 3-0 year after I came back from my externship because he flew up to drive back with me and everything that I was like, okay. So I was like planning out the whole year. I was like, this is what it's gonna look like. This is kind of the timeline I have. This is the timeline I think you should be thinking about, blah blah blah. And it's like, all right, that sounds good. So yeah.
Oh, I can't wait for y'all to watch this. Cause see, I'm like, this is why I found this is the Zoom shit that I've been doing and like all the video shit and like the TV shit. I'm like, it's really helped me see the subtleties in communication of like when I talk to y'all and I see it's like it's the unspoken when you guys talk about the shit. It's like the little smirk, the smile of
Mm-hmm.
like I see it's like it's obviously I'm not there, but when you guys are talking about it, there's an energy attached to it that is so wholesome. It's so refreshing for a bah humbug nigga like me. Because let me tell you, I've been out here and I'm like, I ain't seen nothing worth. I'm like, it's crazy work out here in these streets. It's crazy work. To where I'm like, I'm like, I was telling him, I'm like, I'm locked in. I don't got time for bullshit. I'm like, it's already a small window I'm trying to hit. And I'm like, I've already seen the type of time everybody's on. And I'm like, I don't have that kind of time to waste. But when I
Mm-hmm.
see y'all talking about this shit and I hear this, I'm like, it's crazy work. It's crazy work, but it's so it's natural for you guys. It's so natural that it begs the question of like, I don't think either of you have really thought about it in that way of like, because I know you specifically, but I've also gotten to know him of like the way the relationship developed. Of like obviously there's work. Like any relationship is work. It's like you get tired of niggas. Like you're going from not having your own space to spending time with somebody all the time. But even when you guys are talking about it, it's like it's a friendship. And this is the shit where I hear these old motherfuckers who've been married for all this time and I've tried to I try to recondition myself of like people are out here doing this shit. What's the sauce? What's the secret? And they all saying that same shit of like, oh man, your best friend and all that corny shit. It sounds corny until you run into this shit. And so seeing some young motherfuckers who have stumbled upon this shit, this is where I think we get to the sauce. This is where the real sauce gets put on the podcast of like the interesting thing to me is in hearing you guys both tell the same story where it's lining up. It's like you guys are almost telling it reverse engineered to where it's like you just fell into this relationship and the shit's just working. And it's not until you hit this obstacle of like hmm, like this shit getting real. Like we neither one of us realized it was getting real, but it's real and we're in it and we're committed. We're both individually committed in the same way. Statistically very unlikely, crazy work, but again, it adds to that weight of it of like now you're both thinking about shit that seems unrelated. Do you see what I'm saying? Like it seems so separate, but it's all one thing. And that's where I'm like, it starts becoming mind-blowing because you're talking about two individuals who are individually assessing and like you both are wanting to grow, wanting to be good people, like having a standard, having morality, having all of these things that we don't see show up in our society anymore. And it's not like you're not seeking that out. You're not like, it's not a help wanted ad. It's like, oh, she's got this, she's got this, he's got this, he's got this. None of that shit. But it's all there. And that's
Mm-hmm.
where I find myself so interested in this shit and these things where they talk about the laws of attraction and like the things of like resonance and these things that pull people together.
Mm-hmm.
It can't be a coincidence of like again like all these things that are bringing you guys the work of like being in a relationship, like laughing together, like doing shit together, like having the same interests, like all these things just happen to line up. But when you guys are telling the story, it's a completely different conversation. Does that make any type of sense?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's gonna make sense to the internet, but this is where it becomes invaluable because people I think get caught up in that type of shit in a relationship today. Everybody's so desperate to be in this kind of relationship that they're trying to make it into that. They're trying to go into it with these ideals and these desires and these wants, and they're missing the point, which is to me the most work of all. It's like, how do you be yourself? And that's really what this pod, I keep coming back, like all the different concepts and topics I try to talk about with these people, and we keep ending up here of like, the shit you gotta do just to be you and how to keep motherfuckers from stopping you from doing that. And so like, I could not have found a better place to have this conversation about marriage because again, neither one of you has come up with this indoctrination of like, I need to be married. Like none of you're not doing that shit. And yet you're both equally committed to this shit and it's happening fast and it's happening. It's happening real. And it's like it's real love, it's real friendship, it's real laughs, it's real like shit's crazy work. And so I say all that to pose this next question to you. When you talk about the idea of marriage and where you're coming from and where he's coming from, and when you sit down to plan to get married and all the shit that then comes with that. And like having had, parts of these conversations with you as like you take on this task and like now you're trying to blend two families together. Now it's like oh, okay, I love this nigga, but do I love his people though? Like, do I usually like, what about the people he don't love and his people of like when you start getting, now I got worried about my people and like and it starts getting more and more and more complicated. And yet I don't hear y'all having any type of love lost. Why is that? Where does that come from? I know you niggas get into it. I seen it. You see what I'm saying? It's not like it's all fucking roses and
No,
candy.
no,
Like,
no, no, no.
but what's the, you see what I'm saying? What's the sauce?
um, we do be. It's funny because like we have a lot in common, but we also like are so different. Like there are just things that he likes some of his blood. I don't understand. And like just the weirdest thing, but somehow like it works. I think it also works because we're both not judgmental about it. Like if you like what you like, cool, whatever. And when like disagreements come up, we've gotten to a point where we both kind of like know how each other reacts and stuff, and like in a way to communicate that we both understand, whether it be like we have a conversation and then like kind of need to take a break and like take some time apart. He plays the game, like I'll be doing something and then like talk about it hours later or whatever, and kind of just be like, okay, this is where I was coming from, this is where you're coming from. Like if that's what we need to do, that's what we do. Um, and it's like anytime we have a disagreement, like they really don't last more than a day, if that. Um, in regards to families, there are a lot of different personalities, and not everybody's going to get along with everybody's personality, and that's fine because we know at the end of the day, like, it really doesn't matter. Like, what like we matter and our family and like who we choose to be around and how we choose to support family members and love family members, whether it be hanging out with them, checking up on them from afar, whatever it be. Like we're both on the same page. Like if we ever are in a situation where one of us is wronged by someone's family member or wrong a family member, like we have that conversation, see where they're coming from, and kind of just be okay, this is kind of like what we can do about the situation, but not let it seep into what we have going on because the outside opinions aren't going to change how we feel about each other. And once he's been around all of my family and has been able to get on with all of my family, it doesn't matter because a couple family members have been like, oh, well, I feel like maybe he's, holding you back because he doesn't know what he's doing and you kind of have a plan. And it kind of just like went in one ear and out the other because there's, and honestly, there's very few people's advice that I truly take to heart. One, because a lot of family members like don't know. You know what I mean? Like people just be talking. Like unless you're, you know what I mean, like separately having relationships with me and Terrence where you know us as separate people and then be able to give advice, that's different. But if you're just giving us advice based off of an interaction that you've had, in one ear, not the other, because you mean well, but you don't mean well, in my opinion. And it really like doesn't bug me. So like about that type of stuff, it doesn't really bug him again because we know our relationship, we know what we have, we know like the people who truly 1000% know both of us and support it, and that's enough. So everything else, all the outside, all like the extended family or people feeling that they've been wronged or anything like that, it really doesn't affect how our relationship is day to day.
So much to work from. I gotta start wrapping it up because it's a Jimmy Neutron blame blast. We're hitting people with too much. I'm gonna hit you with the hardest question yet, and
Mm-hmm.
you've really already answered it. But I think the people, everybody may not be as quick-witted. They may need the summary factor because you're laying down a lot of game,
Mm-hmm.
whether you realize it or not. You're giving a lot of just life understandings and the things that end up influencing the things that we don't think about. Like the things that really matter, the things you have to focus on, the things that one should think about in any relationship. But I won't spell it out for you. I'm gonna hit you with the big one,
Mm-hmm.
hit you with the hard one. And see, I didn't really have to ask this nigga in words because he's simpler in his communications. It's like this nigga very wise, but he's not articulate. to the same degree that he is wise. And so he'll just say some shit, and if you don't pick it up, you will like you'll miss it.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, you'll miss it. And I'm like, there's a couple gems he dropped that I think the people might miss. But I'm gonna ask you straight up because you are articulate. And I'm interested to hear how you would try to phrase it, because this is the hard one.
Hmm.
When you're like, especially you're like everything we talked about, because even the people who don't know you at this point, they have enough context of like the path that you're on, the personality that you have, the shit you got in your ear. You California West Coast diehard girl goes to Georgia, the South, and everything that comes with the South, and I'll leave my own personal bias about the South out. And you meet this Detroit Southern living nigga, and he's like, I want to marry you.
Hmm.
Why did you marry this nigga?
I married her because what's the best way to put this? I married Terrence because of the man that he is. There aren't a lot of men that you meet that are men. Like what I mean by that is you meet a lot of men today who have tendencies that where they at their core aren't moving forward as a man would or should based off of just core principles, the way that they're raised, beliefs, anything like that, of what you in your mind picture how a man would move and should move. A lot of men today don't do that. Terrence does do that. And me being a very strong, independent Black woman, you know what I mean? I've had to take on a lot of masculine traits in order to get where I'm going, in order to achieve what I want to achieve. And with him, I don't have to do that. I think that's maybe like the simplest way to put it is that I can stand in who I am independently and be very confident about it and not have him shy away in any type of way. He not only allows me to be like that, he supports me being that way and knows like when it's his time to step up in ways that he can step up and should step up, we'll do it anytime. And I don't even have to ask. If I do have to ask, it's never an issue. Um, and he just is, he's a man. He's a family man. He's a man that has great values. He is a man that knows right from wrong. He is a man that he's just a man. He's like when you meet a man, you know what I mean when I say that because and Terrence is very quiet. He's very quiet. But he doesn't need to be loud to show that he's a man. And I think that's probably one of my favorite things about him. It's like he's very quiet, but like once you meet him and get to talking, like you instantly see what I mean and how he is and how he thinks and how he goes about it. And I just think that he goes about it in the right way.
He's a real nigga, and I fucks with him. I feel it.
He's
Good answer. Good answer. Family Feud. That's me in the background on the side. I feel it. I feel it because I know this nigga. I met him, and I know what you mean. And I know that's why I say that question for last because it's hard to try to put into words and articulate. But again, especially for me and all the things that I try to submit to you when we have our cousin conversations and like me telling you, I'm like, you need to understand you're different so you can make decisions accordingly. There's nothing that makes me happier than seeing you choose this kind of nigga for all the reasons that you're trying to articulate. Because again, you can't be different if you choose a nigga who's regular and he's not regular. I'm like, I'm like, I can't begin to try to articulate myself, but I'm like game recognized game. It's like I know another nigga like that when I see one. And so for for all the unspoken things of like in the world that we live in today and the things that we need to create the kind of change that I was expressing to him, you have to have a strong core. Whatever that core is, whatever it looks like to you, you have to be aware of it. You have to be willing to maintenance it and you have to grow. And I think those are things to me when I look at your guys' relationship, not just as individual people, but as like as the synergies that you can create together and the kind of life you can build together outside of being family, as outside of being black. And like just as a human being, I'm like, it excites me to see. I'm like, this is what we need in the world. We need more of this. We need more of these people. We need more of because again, like when you bring good people together who understand they're good people and they're on the potential and the growth desire, it's like I can only imagine what kind of kids you guys will have and what kind of family you'll build and all the things. And I'm like, I'm just here for it in any way that I can be. And so I say all that to say, I can't thank you guys enough for hopping on the podcast. I hope this comes out even half as good as I picture in my mind because I think it will help a lot of niggas. It'll help a lot of people start to understand things that they just don't think about, that they can't possibly try to articulate, the things that they feel that they can't put into words. You just put into words. It's like, man, I might have to sit down and do a podcast and talk and really break down what does it mean to be a man? Like, what does that shit look like? What does it feel? What does that mean? There's a lot of niggas that don't know. There's a lot of boys. There's a lot of boys and little kids out here populating this world thinking they're grown and they're not. And it shows. And it's very annoying for people who are grown and getting grown. Because I'm like, nigga, I ain't even grown, but you niggas are children. And it's very, yeah. I'll
Yeah.
leave it at that. But can't thank y'all enough. I love you. I'm growing to love you both, and I'm very excited to see you in a week and celebrate your union. And we're
It'll be
gonna
a
turn
good time.
break, and I'm still waiting on my invitation to come visit, and then we're gonna turn up for real and celebrate.
Exactly. Exactly. Thanks for having us. I didn't even know I was gonna be on. I thought it was just gonna be
I
Kim.
didn't know you was gonna be on either. That's how this shit works. That's how you know it's good. When this shit just, like you said, this shit just works out. You let life be life, but it also
Mhm.
be, it goes both ways. Sometimes that
Right.
shit just, you're like, damn, I wouldn't have thought to do it this way, but I'm glad I did.
Mhm. Thank you. This was fun.
We got deep, man. We got deep.